Hi. I want to tell you a little bit about why we are here in front of the Holocaust Memorial. My mother is a child survivor of the Holocaust. In the 1930s, my mother's family applied for visas to enter the United States. Their visa applications were denied. I stand here in memory of my grandfather and my uncle and my extended family, most of whom were killed because the United States denied visas for them and most other Jews in the 1930s. My mother is alive because at the beginning of World War II, she illegally crossed the border, first into France, where she was hidden for a year, and then into Switzerland. I stand here to honor Marianne Cohn, a brave young woman who illegally smuggled my mother and 30 other Jewish teenagers over the mountains into Switzerland. After she saved my mother's life and returned to Nazi-occupied France, she led another group of Jewish refugees into Switzerland illegally. But this time she was captured by the Nazis and tortured to death. I stand here to honor her memory. Sometimes that requires sticking my neck out, to take some risk and stand up for what is right. The Holocaust and genocide did not start with extermination camps. It started by dividing people into us and them. Some groups were equated with criminals and disease, and government propaganda scapegoated minorities and divided people against one another. At that point, official action to imprison and deport people begins in a manner that violates United States and international law and basic human dignity. We are here. Rabbi Falik read a quote from "Terrible things are happening outside. At any time of night and day, poor helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated." That quote is from Anne Frank, but you took part of my talk. Last week in Mississippi, on the first day of school, 680 undocumented workers were arrested, and their children came home to empty houses. It is happening here. That's not right. The U.S. is still separating children from their parents at our borders, 1 year after the court said they had to be reunited. We are imprisoning them without adequate food and water. Children and refugees deserve at least the protections which the Geneva Convention gives to prisoners of war, yet Senator Mitch McConnell refuses to allow the Senate to vote on the Short-Term Detention Standards Act, which ensures access to appropriate temporary shelter, food, and water to children and immigrants. There is a postcard circulating to Senator Mitch McConnell if you want to give him a piece of your mind. Applying for political asylum is legal under U.S. and international law, but we currently force refugees to wait indefinitely in dangerous conditions before they can even apply. The U.S. says they should get in line, but for many refugees and immigrants, there is no line they can get into to become legal. We are deporting people to their deaths after they have lived and worked here for most of their lives. ICE is asking local jails to hold immigrants past their release dates to give ICE extra time to arrest them. ICE uses these detainers to imprison people without due process, and immigrants are rarely given access to attorneys or even translators. We have children in court who are expected to defend themselves in English without translators. This raises serious constitutional concerns. There's another postcard going around if you want to ask Oakland County commissioners to stop this practice in Oakland County. We are violating fundamental American values and respect for diversity. We are a nation of immigrants. This slippery slope continues, and where will it lead us? I grew up with the value of never again. Now is the time to stand up for what we believe in. Now is the time to say never again. If you ever wondered what you would do in Germany in the 1930s, you are doing it now, so thank you for being here. Please. Please take our flyer going around describing what we can do and join us in defending American values. I would like to close with a poem written in Germany in the 1930s by Reverend Martin Niemöller, a Lutheran pastor. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist.
Thank you.
Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Thank you. I am Emily DuThinh.